While the internet has brought immense benefits to the K-12 community, these technological advances come with many challenges, such as cybersecurity threats. Cybersecurity is the application of technologies, processes, and controls to protect systems, networks, programs, devices, and data from cyber attacks. The goal of cybersecurity is to reduce the risk of a cyber attack, thus avoiding the exposure of personally identifiable information, the disruption of learning and day-to-day operations, and paying high recovery costs. It's no surprise with a heavy shift to online learning due to the global pandemic that 2020 was a record-breaking year for cyber attacks against U.S. schools, or that 2021 was the 7th year in a row that district-level educational technologists rank cybersecurity as their top concern. In this first module, you will learn to explain cybersecurity and identify some of the common threats impacting schools, such as denial of services, phishing, and ransomware. In 2020, 60% of educational institutions experienced a phishing attack. Phishing attacks take place when a form of communication, such as email, text message, or phone call, appear to come from a reliable source. However, they are actually generated by a cybercriminal attempting to lure in their potential target and get them to take the bait, thus coining the name phishing. In typical phishing attacks, the cybercriminal may use malicious web links, malicious attachments, and fraudulent data entry forms. These attacks can lead to the exposure of personal information, access to confidential files, financial implications, or the disruption of services. Another cyber attack that has impacted schools is denial of service. In a denial of service attack on Leon County schools in Tallahassee, 50,000 student and teacher records were ultimately exposed. Denial of service attacks occur when attackers flood web servers, systems, or networks to overwhelm the resources of the victim. If a denial of service attack occurs at your school or district, you will not be able to access computer systems, network, devices, services, or other essential information technology. Another more destructive type of denial of services is a distributed denial of service attack, in which multiple machines operate together to further flood a specific target. Some common signs to look for in identifying denial of services are a decrease in network performance, certain or all websites unavailable, and a higher volume of email spam. Malware, as its name implies, is malicious software. Malware can infect, steal, explore, or conduct behavior at the attacker's discretion. Malware infections typically occur when malware is inadvertently downloaded. This can happen on a website, email, download, or even a removable device. Once malware is installed in a device, it infects the device and begins working towards the goals of the cybercriminal. Some of the common types of malware and their impact are ransomware, in which victims are blackmailed, spyware, which steals the victim's data, adware, which will spam the victim with ads, worms, which spread via removable devices, and botnets, which disrupt the services of the victim by making it inaccessible. One of the most common forms of malware impacting schools is ransomware. Ransomware is one of the few malware attacks that is direct and doesn't operate undetected. If your school has been impacted by ransomware, the cybercriminals will likely blackmail and demand payment in exchange for critical files or devices. These attacks are becoming more frequent and more sophisticated. In Broward County School District in Florida, cybercriminals demanded $40 million from the school district in exchange for the return of personal data, including financial documents, contracts, databases, and personally identifiable information for students and staff. Ultimately, the cybercriminals published 26,000 stolen files. Some of the main causes of ransomware include phishing emails, poor user practices, lack of cybersecurity training, weak passwords, and malicious websites. Throughout this module, you will learn more details about these cyber attacks, as well as additional cyber attacks that impact schools.